Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and today we'll be going over a comparison chart that I found, and it was left derelict, and I've been adding to it, and eventually I want to make this better. But for now, so there's been some interest in like, hey, that looks really cool. Can I have a copy? And I am here to arm you with knowledge. So there will be a copy in the comments. If you're just here for that, go click that. There is a permanent link attached to a wiki, so you can just go there. And I was able to make it so that any updates maintained the same link, which is pretty cool. But what we see here is a visual representation of what each champion brings to the party in terms of buffing. Now this isn't damage, so this is why like Jamila is very low. But just knowing like, okay, because everyone has their main DPS and that's fine, but who is best, like numerically speaking, on buff scale? And so I wanted a resource to plug in my own numbers, like from gear, and with all the upgrades, see what was really good at a glance without having to like massively upgrade a champion, like compare and drag in and out. So anyway, that's the pretense behind it. But let's look at what we have. So we have a bunch of pretty colors, and there's bars and stuff. And this first page or sheet is just chart, right? And this will show you across the board in respect to slots. So 1 over here and 12 over to the right, where the buffs kind of line up. And then the second sheet is a high to low chart. And this can be kind of deceiving because we see here like in the number 1 it's like full Wolfgar with Brunor and Dritz. So this is saying that Brunor's buff is applying to Wolfgar because Wolfgar is amplifying the rally. So all the rally bonus is attributed to Wolfgar. But we see in a left to right, like, okay, I just want to see the the top 10 DPS. You can see it in a chart here. So we can just say, okay, who is my top 10? Boom. So now there will be some overlap, Calliope and Diath. But you can just go down the list easily and say, okay, who can I use? Boom, 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 boom. Just try stuff out in the right slots and stuff, which you should already know. Moving on, here's the meat and potatoes. So here we see the sheet where you will be doing your inputs. At the moment, only a couple slots are used, but times may change and other buffs or other items and slots might vary how they work with everything. So while not everything is used in here, I don't think it really hurts to add it for the time being. And you can also track your progress. Say you have like a large chest opening and you say like, well, what was I at before? You can see like, oh, my Brunner was, had a 20-second cooldown reduction on his ult, and now it's like 45. Wow, that's cool. But we have every champion with alternating colors, and each color is like, so like slot 1 is red, slot 2 is blue, going back to red and blue. So it's alternating, but there's also like light and dark for within the same slot. And you just plug in all your info. Unfortunately, you would have to repeat, like input the info over and over if you got a new sheet. But on the plus side, it's easily copy pastable. So if you just make a new, or like you name it something different, or you have a second copy, you just copy paste this info into the old one, and then like you add in, like, let's say Birdsong was the new champion, you just input your new numbers there, and everything should plug in. And what we see here is a over time, right, or over upgrades, how the champions compare and contrast. But the really important part is at the bottom, right? The soft cap total. And here we see, I prefer scientific method, or the scientific numbering, whatever. For the bottom, you can see like, okay, so my Brunner gives me 4E7 with his battle for his rally, right? But Deacon's like epic gives me 1E9. That's a whole bunch more. And just being able to like quantifiably see this with also respect to the like increase to all champion, which isn't always shown, because sure you can compare Deacon's Doom like at max stacks to Bruner's Rally at soft cap or maximum, or even with Wolfgar, but that doesn't tell you how it's also comboed with the like upgrade to all champion DPS and stuff. And if you really wanted to dig like into, or like get into the weeds, you could see all that stuff in the charts, which all this stuff pulls from. So here, just to go over Bruner for a second, we have the items that pull in, and you see how 5 and 6 aren't implemented. This is a work in progress, but again, stuff that you shouldn't have to worry about too much. But we see like, all damage for champions is, you get 100, 200, and all that stuff adds up to multipliers and math. You guys don't have to worry about these too much. Just really input your numbers, see on the charts, see how things stack up, and there you go. Again, the link is in the description. And for the variable buffs, we see here up at the top, like how many bards are in the party for Deacon's Troubadour troop. This is an important factor that you have to think about, as well as like, okay, where does Deacon fit in if I can only get like an average of like 10 stacks? But I think the communities pretty much agree that like it doesn't really matter. It's either maximum or you have the speed buff. So whatever. But bards in the party is important because that is like who you want to use champion-wise. So you can kind of play around with these numbers easily and see how they go up and down and are affected. Same with Nayeli's attacking buff, Grama's age of the target that you're trying to buff up the most. Dieth and the Waffle Crew, to remember it doesn't include Dieth, get the little note right there. Evelyn also gets the same attacking, and then over here, Dritz with his Companions of the Hall, Tyrell with adjacent champions, Barrowin with hammer stacks, which I believe, that was when people got most interested, was like, okay, so we have a 2-stack Barrowin, and she's over here, sitting on the gold, right? 1E9. That's pretty good. But we go back over here, we make it 4 for like, like a Binwin buff, right? And oh, geez, that's large. So we gotta make that larger. And then we go over here, and it's a 1E15. Like, wowzers, Bowsers, that's a lot of damage. Right? It's that quick, flexible calculation that makes this really beneficial, I think. And then a stun stack for Wolfgar and whatever. So that has been a look at this. If you like it, cool. If you don't, let me know why. And I think that's it. Thank you for your time, and have a good day.